you guys doing? Okay. I don't know what made me think of this, because it's not really a story. It's another, like, 2 or 3 things put all together. But that's what this one's about. It's like another, kind of important, but yet weird thing, random thing, because I haven't put one up for a while, so I'm going to do a random one. So, but one thing I'd like to get long past over to you guys. Experience this. You spin me right around. Anyhow, you guys all know that I got, like, well, a lot of you know, that I got, like, one eyeball in my head. Well, I got 2, but the one's incognito. But, at any rate, my boss, who loves me dearly, I went into work with sunglasses tucked here, like a normal person would. Not 1, but 2 pair. Right here, in my Sandra Bullock-like cleavage. But I was like, I'm not a morning person, so I'm like, I couldn't even tell you what gender I am in the morning. But I go in there, I'm like, I walk in, and she looks at me, and I get this look, and you have to know, and the person who knows what I'm talking about, you don't look to give me. It's a very disturbing look. It's kind of one of those looks that when you get it, grown men have wept because of it. It has, I mean, you want to talk about making me shudder with fear. It's intense. I mean, it's just one of those looks that when you get it, there's no denying what she's trying to tell you. It's like, and she looks over, she just looks at you. And there's just, you don't ruffle her feathers. You don't, seriously, I've seen her in action when she's like, and it's like, no, please don't spare me! Kind of like, oh, great and powerful, please, I beg of you! I wither before you like a vast piece of lettuce! But anyway, here's the deal. This person, my boss, was on the telephone. This is half the job. She's always on the phone, just constantly. And I'm there talking, trying to do my thing, and I go to leave, and I get this, and I'm like, what? Just, what's going on? And just, I'm like, okay, I'll just wait right here, not doing anything at all, taking up space. And he goes, I don't understand this. And I went, what? You have one eye in your head working. I'm like, yeah, okay. And she goes, but you need 2 sets of sunglasses? And I'm like, I lost one. It was in my pocket. And I get this look, and this look would have caused the Berlin Wall to go, okay, it's one of those deals. I get to see it often, because apparently I get her damed her up a little bit. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Anyhow, moving on to bigger and brighter things. Not that she isn't. I love you, honestly. You drive me crazy! But yeah, it's all good. Right there. So, moving on to the other female in my life, my mother. The one I sprang from her loins. Well, I really didn't spring. They had to use the salad spoons and pull me out. I apparently was taking knives. So I was like, she was in labor with me for like 20 hours. I was not ready to leave a uterus. I think that's where I was hiding at. Well, I mean, I was in there somewhere, but the birth canal was, well, those of you that know me know what I mean when I say that I took forever to come out. Hey, I'm moving on. So, when I was a little kid, this is the story now. We're to that point. I should probably put like a little title thing here. Okay. Well, here's the deal. When I was 5, my mother was using the stove. Mothers do that. They like to slave over it and, do their thing. Well, what happened is, we had this problem, the little board thing with the little knobs and things. Every time she'd use it, it would make this weird smell. And we were, like, in this one place, the place we were living at, I think we were renting it. And, we didn't buy it by any means. In fact, while we were living there, we were building a house. So it was, like, point A to point B. At any rate, long story short on this one, she kept smelling something burning. Like, a really bad burning smell. Turns out they pulled the stove away one day to find a rat had apparently electrocuted itself up in it. which I was appalled over, because I think back out going, we had a rat, but we were out in the country, and somehow a rat got in there. Now, I'm not saying it's one of these 2-foot sewer rats that would, like, you know, it's like man against beast, you know, 30 style boxing kind of thing, but still, I mean, you know, it wasn't like, oh, what's that dude's name off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Not Splinter. Is that Splinter? I think it's Splinter. Not like him. This rat wasn't exactly wearing a gi, but at least I don't remember wearing a gi, but that was that part of it. Now, as far as stoves are concerned, well, then here's the other thing. There's 2 more little bits to this. These are recent ones. Well, my mother called me and said, can you get stuff to make 2 pineapple upside down cakes? I still didn't say that right, but you get what I'm saying. Well, I went to, and I'm not saying I'm dumb, but I, for some reason, was convinced, like every other cake mix, you put everything in it once, and put it in the pan, you dust it with flour, a little bit of butter, put it in the oven, it bakes, it pops out, you flip it over, and I figure it's done. You know, you don't do it with pineapple upside down cakes. You put the brown sugar and, like, the rings of pineapple. I didn't buy rings, I buy chunky pineapple, and this thing, when I pulled it out, was burnt to a crisp. And the middle was like goo. I was like, this isn't not working the way it was supposed to. Duncan Hines would not approve. Betty Crocker would be flipping in her grave. It just kind of, you know, just wasn't cool. So what happens? I call her and go, something's wrong. But I couldn't get a hold of her, so I had to call this lady we knew. She's like, what did you do again? So I walked her through it. She goes, oh, no. You gotta do the brown sugar and the pineapple separately. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I did that. It worked out better. I ruined like $7 in food. There's Ethiopians out there that are very unhappy with me. But at any rate, it wasn't fit to eat. You couldn't. It looked like, did you ever, like, get the Denny Moore stew, and it's like that gravy, the little, how, you know, you eat all the stuff, and you got this brown gravy with, like, little bits of potato, and, like that gooey, like, how it's, when you take the lid off of it, it's got that, like, gelatin-like thing, because all the grease is, like, solidifying. That's what the middle of it looked like. I know. Picture it. So, now the other part of it was, I decided 3 Thanksgivings ago, to bake a turkey. Well, here's the cool thing. My mother did it when I was like a little wee kid. She tried to. What's funny about it was, she called my grandmother and went, oh, guess what? I made a turkey! And my mom's like, oh, good for you, ha, ha, ha. And they're talking. And she goes, what'd you do with the neck? And my mom's like, what do you mean the neck? She goes, Joy, there's a neck in there. There's a bag that has everything in it. And I'm like, oh, mine didn't come with one. She's like, yes, it did. She went, no, there's no bag in there. My mother, you know, by forcing stuffing up a bird's ass, basically, didn't take into account that there is a neck and a heart and gizzard and all that other stuff. Well, it was fully cooked when she got to it. Yeah, there's a gizzard and stuff in there. Well, I knew about that story, so I was prepared. I pulled everything out, and I'm there sitting like an autopsy, trying to figure out what this little round thing, I figured it was the heart. It was like trying to play the Operation game, but you didn't get zapped. You just get greasy and nasty. So I made this bird. Well, I didn't make it. I stuffed it. Shoved the stuffing in it and did all that stuff. Went to bake it, and of course, I was up all night with this bird. Like every 2 hours, I'm laying in bed here, that's sizzling because it's running over, and I'm out there like taking turkey baster too. You know, little Miss Susie Homemaker here, just kind of doing my thing with the bird, sort of. And I get through that. Well, unbeknownst to me, it like really ran over and it like burnt on the bottom of the thing because I didn't have a catch pan. It gets better. I needed a pie. I didn't have a pumpkin pie. Well, I had a relative tell me, well, come on, when you get mine, you can use mine. It's a Sara Lee. I'm like, okay. So I go get her pie, come over, and I bake it. Well, kind of bake it. More of a reheat kind of deal, but still, it had to go in the oven. Well, the oven had to get cranked up higher. Well, I'm there with my pie on the in here, as it's supposed to be doing its thing, I guess. Lo and behold, I smelled smoke. I'm like, that's not good. That doesn't smell like a pie, though. What is that? I open it. I had flames. I'm like, no! I'm like, no, seriously. There's like, it's like I'm like shish kebabbing a pumpkin pie via turkey juice stuff that was burning. I'm like, I literally had flames, not smoke. There was flames. I could have roasted a marshmallow. But I was like, we gotta do something about this. So I'm like taking it out there and I'm putting it, the pie wasn't done at all. It was still like, it was getting there, but it wasn't kind of, so it was not, USDA would not be happy with me. So I had to like extinguish the flames with the turkey juice, or whatever the heck that stuff was. So I did that. Well, my place smelled funky for a while. And you have this beautiful smell of turkey in the house, and all these wonderful things. And wouldn't you know it, there's this stupid smell of a burnt turkey juice. It's weird. That's the second part of it. Here's the other thing that happened. When we were making cookies, my mother and I, she bakes like crazy. She is the Paula Deen, Betty Crocker, and Duncan Hines of the area. This girl can cook anything. She's one of those mothers who can take a pound of hamburger and feed 6 people with it. I'm not kidding. So, what happens is, I got a candle for a Yankee candle. It was the Christmas cookie one. Well, I put all my candles in the attic, and apparently it was on its side, so in the July heat, it kind of warped, melted diagonally and the thing. And I realized my oven, I positioned, because there's a vent under the one burner, and I positioned it so that it would, you know, the heat would come up while we're baking cookies, and I could actually, like, get it to, like, run back down. I would slowly keep turning it by little, you know, to get it to, I didn't want to waste a candle, because I couldn't get the lid off, because it, like, went up into the little bulbous lid and kind of got, like, latched on. It was having, this jar was having separation anxiety issues with its lid, so I'm there, like, trying to rotate, you know, and I'm, I couldn't carry making all these cookies and stuff, and I smelled this candle. I go out there, I'm going, oh, and it dawns on me, it's running, the oil is running out the candle down in. I'm going, uh-oh. So I pull the thing out, and there's this flame coming off the bottom of my oven again. I'm like, seriously? So what do? I'm like, ah! Lift up, you know, and there's this blue flame. Well, I have these water bottles that have like a really powerful squirter on it, and I'm squirting it real easily, and the flame went out. Well, up at the top of the oven where the little vent thing is, there was like a blue flame because the oil was dripping there and it's catching fire there, you know. And the appliance light's like right there. Like, you know, you have this little thing in the appliance bowl, they were like right there, like proximity. So what do? Spray the hole, and I'm like, tss, tss, and just as I do, I didn't thoroughly think this one through, people. The bulb just exploded, and I'm like, ah! I mean, shrapnel was flying. I'm going, my eyeball, and it was like this. It was like I had wires flying and glass flying. It was like, so it was not pretty. I think my oven was like 375 degrees, and I'm shooting, like, you know, this bulb just went busting, so I had to, like, wait till it cooled off and replace the bulb and do that kind of thing. But I've had situations with stoves, as you can see there, haven't all been pretty. I literally had shrapnel flying out of my oven, and it wasn't cookies. It was the other stuff, the glass and stuff. So that. I think that's all my weird stories of involving another. Well, no, there is one more. When I was younger, I was learning how to use the stove. Well, not that young. I was making a scrambled egg. Well, our our knobs, then when you turn it, it just keeps going around, so it doesn't really have a stopping point. Go figure. Well, low and high are right next to each other when you go around loop. Well, I walked away, and I basically caused a grease fire. And, oh, the smoke that thing put through the house. It took probably 6, 7, probably a good part of 8 hours to get that out of the house. It was nasty. But yeah, I've had a few situations involving stoves. I think that's everything. I'm gonna say it is. But yeah, I was thinking about because the holidays are coming and that stuff, and, you know, so now you guys know that I've blown up the appliance bulb with water. I've caused the cookie candle to somehow melt down into my oven. My mother has found a rat behind our stove. Boy, that's something to write home about. I have caught a turkey juice on fire in my oven because I was cooking a pie, and I've forced a pineapple upside down cake not to cook right. So, the joys of cooking. So, anyway. But yeah, we do all kinds of cooking and stuff, so you guys will probably get to see some samples whenever I get to do it this year. But anyway. On that note, I'm going to call it a night. I just want to get this out there and say all the great, wonderful things that, you know, like me having 2 sets of sunglasses because I found a pair. Apparently, I'm not allowed to wear both at the same time because that's a faux pas. So, on that note, you guys be good. I'll have another video soon. Take care. Peace be with you. And have fun. Toodles.